So how does Videoquant deliver the results that it delivers, including in our last case study, which was for a $60 billion market cap company, where we showed in a blind controlled experiment how video concepts we predicted would do well truly ended up doing 4.4x better in downstream lift, actual downstream lift, versus concepts that we predicted wouldn't do well. This was with statistical significance, an estimated savings of about $2 million, north of $2 million per 10 million spent. So even for a modest national TV campaign, we're generating millions of dollars of results. And by the way, this is not exceptional. Every test and pilot that we've done thus far, we've seen similar type lift results. Doesn't mean that you're going to get the same results, but so far this has been the norm. So how does the magic work, and why is it that I really can't live without this tool when I'm doing television at this point? So I'm going to log into the tool. By the way, what I'm showing here, we're still a startup, so I'm showing a lightweight version. So this is exactly what customers are going to see. It's a lightweight version. A lot of our industrial heavy lifting stuff is still behind the scenes, not exposed to users. But this is, I think, will give you a good sense of what we're doing. So I'm going to click on VidScore. This is our flagship product. Out of the 4 patents that we have pending, 3 of them are related to the mechanics of how this works and why it works. And what it does is it allows you to test any idea that you have for a new television commercial or online video campaign, and get an estimate of what is the downstream results, the ROI, brand lift that you're likely to see if you were to build that content and invest in it. Let's pretend that we're an insurance company and we want to do a new television commercial, save money on auto insurance. Probably sounds familiar. Enter. Boom, we see that data has been found. And this is key to how this all works. So what we're doing, what we realized that led to Videoquant, is that most new ideas for television commercials and online video aren't actually new. There's tests that have already been run by third parties who have made the investment to figure out, does this work and that doesn't work. And what we're doing is we're mining their downstream results on those tests that are related to the content, the concept that you're trying to test and assess. And based on what those third parties, including likely your competitors, are seeing, we could come up with an estimate of what you're likely to see if you were to repeat the same concept that likely has already been tested and found not to work by others. Counterintuitively, when you're using Videoquant, it's advantageous for your competitors to spend more on video. The more that they spend and essentially waste on a lot of failed tests, because most video concepts are going to fail, the more they spend, the more strategic advantage that you get, the better your ROI. And so let me go ahead now and show you what the result is for this concept of saving money on auto insurance. So instantly, boom, you get a letter grade, C-. That is below average. And that letter grade represents how likely it is that if you were to build this content, it's going to yield downstream conversions, performance results for you, whether it be on brand lift or ROI. And we take it a step further. Not only do we give a letter grade, we give a numeric value and our level of confidence, 90% confidence band around that predicted performance. So the scale is between 0 and 1. 1 means we predict very high ROI, downstream performance. 0 means crickets. This one gets a 0.45 with 90% confidence bands, plus or minus 0.05. So not great. So this actually was our V1 of the product. But then customers said, it's great to be able to test ideas, but we don't know what ideas to test. Everything we're testing isn't working. By the way, very common. Most concepts don't work. That's the whole point, and the whole reason why we started this is that most content fails. And so you should expect to see mostly low scores. But then to make it easier for our customers, what we said is, well, hey, we could actually mine this data and find out, well, what are the tests where we see statistically significant results, meaning there's enough testing being done on this topic where we're getting good results to say, hey, this is something you actually might want to test and consider. So that's where these suggestions, this is section 2 of the report. And you're going to see certain themes that emerge from the recommendations here. So the first one is right-sizing your car insurance. We actually see a few different flavors of this. So it's kind of the means through which you're saving money, is that I feel like I have product bloat, that I bought too much insurance. So let me right-size the car insurance in order to save money. The other thing that we see coming up here is having specific dollar values to your savings. We see actually that Geico does this pretty well. And the other thing you'll notice, it's a little more subtle, is you'll see that the phrasing car comes up much more frequently in these higher value predictions than what we see in the lower value predictions. And so you may want to test whether or not the phrasing car outperforms the phrasing auto. Words actually matter. The way that you phrase your messaging matters. We see the results downstream. So that's something that you're going to want to test. So by the way, this was where we were getting the ROI and showing results for customers. But one of the pieces of feedback we got is, hey, it would be great if you could tell us also what doesn't work. What are the third rails, things to avoid? There is a lot here. So one of the first things that come up of things to avoid when you're doing a television commercial in auto insurance, and this is common, everyone's doing it and they're wasting money, is bundling of products in the insurance domain. So time and time again, the data shows that other folks have tested this and it does not work. It underperforms when you're bundling home and auto or bundling insurance products together. You have to actually be more specific on what product it is that you're offering and you're trying to get that savings on. We also say that vagueness around saving money is another theme that comes up as not performing well. So then we took this a step further. What we realized was, well, what happens if what the user, such as yourself, entered in originally maybe just doesn't, like there's no topic next to it that could work well. So what we realized is that by inferring the likely audience that you're targeting, we can then broaden up our search for topics that might be a little off the track of where you started, but is more likely to resonate with the audience that you're likely targeting. And that's what this fourth section is. So these topics may actually deviate quite substantially from where you started, but we believe that based on what you entered in, we figured out and we inferred what the audience likely is, what works better for that audience in driving downstream video conversion. One of the things we see here is comparison. So and by the way, this is not unique to insurance. We see this also with e-commerce, is folks want to know, how can I empower myself to save money? We also see localization. So like what state we're selling our product in and how to save within a specific state comes up particularly high. This tool though goes much further than what we're showing here because it was meant to be used iteratively. We started with an idea, got a C- below average. We came up with some suggestions that'll work better, but maybe we could optimize those suggestions even further. Yes, we can. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to click on Go, click on Test Concept, and now boom, we see that this new concept, buying the right car insurance, right sizing the policy, has a score of B, which is statistically significant better in predicted downstream results versus where we started at the C-. And I could tell that based on the confidence bands not overlapping. But then look, this goes even further because now we have a new set of suggestions, a new set of things to avoid if we're pivoting to this topic, as well as a new set of things that will work well for this slightly different audience that now this messaging is likely targeting. Once you've landed on a concept that you're comfortable with, that you're like, okay, I actually want to build a test and incur the cost, the upfront development cost and A/B testing cost, you can click on Go. I'm going to click on Create Outline, and almost instantly you're going to get a video outline that's been optimized around this topic that we believe and we predicted would do better based on the investments being made by others. You could take this a step further. If you're planning to deploy this on television, we can then do a television script draft. If you're going to be deploying this online, we could do keywords and descriptions, as you can see below here. So this is how today we're generating value for customers. Now I want to give you a sneak peek at tomorrow, at what this technology, what we're doing behind the scenes, that I think is going to really change everything about this industry. So I'm going to click on Mine Video Upload. This is not something that users have access to. This is strictly behind the scenes as a sneak peek. So Liberty Mutual just put out a television commercial about switching insurance to save money. And what we're going to do is we're going to mine that new television ad and figure out what's going on in this ad. And so you could see here, and this is not canned, this is done in real time, just as we were talking. We can now see exactly what's happening inside this video ad. So we see there's a dog, there's an ocean in the background, happiness. We see the text, we could see the logos, we could see the logo placement. We can see that there's one person, it's a female, she's sitting. So we can now see behaviors, we could see how the users or the characters and the actors are interacting with different things. And in a nutshell, what we're doing is we're taking unstructured video data and we're creating structured data. We're then merging that structured data with our VidScore pending technology, where we've mined the downstream performance of existing video content. And by doing this at scale across millions of television ads and videos, we can basically now see patterns for what is the content that is likely to drive downstream conversion without us having to make the investment to learn what's going to work and not work. Let our competitors buy our learnings. So anyway, that's what I have. Again, I'm founder of Videoquant, Tim Doria. Thank you for your time.